Hey everybody, I noticed that a lot of you guys liked my shorts on why champions are dead, why they disappeared from the meta. Most of them have been short, because, you can only make shorts up to a minute. So this one's going to be a bit longer. Why is it going to be a bit longer? Why is it just going to be a one-take long video? Because I like Olaf and I'm very biased. You might have noticed that. If I like a champion, I'll put more effort into them. That's my superpower as a content creator. So Olaf is dead. He is gone. He is gone from the meta. He is one of the least picked champions in the game. How did that happen to a champion who was so prevalent and so picked like Olaf? Well, in order to talk about this, I want to talk about when modern Olaf began. I could go all the way back to Season 3, but I don't think that would be a smart idea. I don't think many of you guys even played the game back then. So I decided to myself I would start at Season 8. In Season 8, Riot did the change where they buffed Ragnarok so it scales with total AD rather than 40 to 80 flat AD. This meant that building damage on Olaf was quite more powerful. They also buffed the AD ratio and reduced the cooldown on Reckless Swing, enabling him to do far more consistent and higher sustained damage, especially if he builds damage. This starts the modern Olaf, the high damage Olaf. If you guys have been playing for long enough, that's the Ravenous Hydra Olaf. That's a Black Cleaver Olaf, the run you down and murder your team Olaf. This starts in Season 8. We can see a little bit of a nerf here, a buff here. For the majority of Season 8, no changes though, not big ones at any rate. Season 9, literally no buffs, literally no nerfs. Season 10, once again we see literally no buffs, literally no nerfs. This champion has been extremely consistent. He's been in the competitive play for 3 years at this point. People like him, people play him, he's a good pick. However, in preseason 11, this begins what we like to call the Riot Special. The Riot Special is when you introduce a new item or something for a champion that has extremely good synergy. Then you nerf that champion multiple times, then you eventually nerf what was making them overpowered. Then you don't go back and buff the champion. That's the Riot Special. It leaves champions dead and useless, and that's what happened to Olaf. But let's actually talk about what happened in particular. So when Gore Drinker released, it had incredible synergy with Olaf. If you look here, Gore Drinker gave 0 to 15% of your total AD as bonus damage. It also gave a 100% bonus, 100% total AD nuke. Originally, it was 110, but it got nerfed to 100%. Now, why does that have such extreme synergy with Olaf? Well, if we look back here, Olaf has 30% of his total damage as a bonus in his ultimate. That means if Olaf is at low HP and he had Gore Drinker before it got nerfed into the ground, that's a 1.3 AD ratio times a 1.15 AD ratio. That meant Olaf had nearly a 50% bonus damage effect, 1.495. Olaf nearly got 50% bonus damage when he was at low HP. Now remember that Olaf gets bonus attack speed from his missing HP. Or at least had up to 50% bonus healing on low HP, and that was quite good. So an item that gives you 100% of your AD when you're doing 1.5 of your AD on every hit, and it heals you, and oh wait, Olaf gets more healing because he gets more on his missing HP. It hits hard, it heals a lot, it was quite good. So what did Riot do? Obviously Gore Drinker was quite good on Olaf. So they nerfed his Q slow and they nerfed his W attack speed. Then they went ahead and buffed the lifesteal on his W, but nerfed the missing bonus health, bonus healing amplification from 0 to 50% to 0 to 33%. So they nerfed one of the core aspects of Olaf that's been there for how long? How long has this been on the champion? This has been here for so long, I can't even... When was this? Yeah, here we go. This was back in Season 3 they gave Olaf that aspect. Season 3? So this has been in the game since Season 3. That's insane that they now decide this is the aspect of Olaf we need to nerf. But whatever, maybe it was too overpowered in Modern League, blah 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 blah. Then they went ahead and nerfed the bonus attack speed that Olaf gets from his missing health to 75% at 0 from 100%. Let's just be clear. I want to go back. Let's look here. When did Olaf get the 100% bonus attack speed at low health or 0 health? He can't actually get 100%. He would be dead. Yeah, that was on launch. So in Season 1. So Season 1, he had this bonus attack speed. In Season 3, he had the bonus healing on low HP. That's a long time for a champion to have these core aspects of their kit that Riot just decides overnight, yeah, fuck that champion, they're dead. But that's what they did. So, he lost some base HP, he lost bonus attack speed, he lost healing amplification at low HP. And remember, this thing affects Soraka heals, it affects Nami heals, it affects Triumph, it affects Gore Drinker, it affects Divine Sun, everything. Everything in the game that heals you. Unlike Aatrox, Olaf heals from his allies. This is particularly what made him such a good team support, or team jungler, if you want to call it that. In competitive play, a lot of teams would play not an Olaf-based comp, but a comp that could win off an Olaf. Obviously, you would have other carries, but often we would see Olaf powerhouses chugging down people and just destroying them in dragon fights and things like that. And that got nerfed. Not such a great feeling. Olaf is a level 1 champion, a champion who excels in the early game, has now lost 22 HP at level 1. He has now lost up to 25% attack speed at level 1. He's lost 4% movement slow at level 1, and he's lost 5% attack speed at level 1. While none of these things were particularly devastating, the grand total of all of them was, oops. So then we can see Gore Drinker gets nerfed here in 11.3. Now, here's what I find hilarious. In 11.3, they nerfed Gore Drinker and they nerfed Olaf on the same patch, effectively murdering the champion. We can see here, 10 patches later, they decide to buff him. They give him back some health per level and some insignificant mana regen buffs. But that's it. He gets 7 health per level, but he lost 22 at level 1. Stats scale linearly. You only get 60% of your stats at level 2. And then at level 18, you get 140% of them. So it takes him a good long time to make up for the lost health. That's a lot. So we can see Gore Drinker gets nerfed to 11.3. It finally gets buffed back on 11.10. On 11.13, that's when they decide to buff Olaf. So it's like they forgot that Olaf even exists. They're like, oh shit. I guess we'll buff Gore Drinker. Maybe that'll make Olaf good. Well, no, because you nerfed Olaf on the same patch you nerfed Gore Drinker. So Olaf was nerfed. Gore Drinker was still nerfed from where it used to be. On 11.13, they decide, fuck it, let's give Olaf some buffs. These buffs did not do anything. In fact, if I look, let's go back all the way here. Let's go back to 11.20, and that is before the Gore Drinker nerf. The Gore Drinker nerf happened in 11.21. So you can see here in 11.20, this is where Olaf was before Gore Drinker got nerfed. Down to a 49.82% win ratio, the 38th highest pick jungler. So this guy is not excelling, and they're nerfing his core item really hard. They're removing entirely the spite passive that gives him bonus damage based on missing health. They're entirely changing it to scale on base AD, not total AD. These are two big aspects of Olaf that he really needs. Remember, they nerfed his bonus healing when on low health, so the Omnivamp that it gives you, even at 10%, Olaf makes it a grand total of 13.3% if he's at 0 HP. That's not some significant buff for Olaf. That's not even as much as Ravenous Hydra used to give. So let's look right on the next patch on 11.21. This is when they nerf Gore Drinker and Conqueror, despite Olaf already being in a shit spot, and they don't buff him. And now let's look here. They didn't even buff Olaf for another 4 patches on a hotfix. As oops, we forgot about Olaf. He's down to a 47% win rate. 40th highest pick jungle. Let's be clear here. Olaf is right next to Skarner, Ivern, and Rumble. This champion is unpopular as shit. This champion is dead in the jungle. Skarner will later, well, I'll get into him later, and that's it. He's doing worse than Udyr, for God's sake. So 11.22 comes by. They decide, hey guys, maybe Gore Drinker shouldn't literally be the worst item in the game, and they buff it. Well, that only brings Olaf to a 48% win rate. So then on the next patch, they decided to actually not buff him or do anything at all. He drops to a 47% win rate. No changes. Oh, no, don't worry. Undocumented no longer displays the unstoppable state on the health bar interface. Don't worry, that'll make Olaf viable. Trust me, that's it. So they finally decide on 11.24 to buff him. Except they didn't. On 11.24, they actually didn't buff Olaf. They waited for the hotfix later to buff Olaf. As if this 47% win rate Olaf with the 41st highest pick rate wasn't enough to know that maybe Olaf is shitty right now. Oh, wow. So this is a champion who, again, Season 10, no changes. Season 9, no changes. Season 8, a slight, rework and a buff, and that's it. So this champion's gone 2 seasons with not a single change, who's been a staple of high rank, a stable figure, balanced champion. 2 seasons of that, not a single change. And then he gets absolutely butchered in the first 3 patches of a preseason, and then it's just useless the entire rest of the season. So where's Olaf now? Obviously, they buffed him. They gave him back the attack speed that he had since Season 1. The thing that he always had since Season 1. They finally gave that back. Well, what happened to Olaf? Yeah, he's still at a 48% win rate. At the 41st highest jungle. Let's be clear, Olaf is right next to, Twitch jungle. That's where he is balance-wise, and I think that's basically where Riot even gives a shit about him. They only give a shit about him as much as Twitch jungle at this point. And that's a Riot special. Once again, the Riot special is when a champion gets nerfed because of something, nerfed again because of something, nerfed again because of something, then they finally nerf what's making them overpowered and don't give them back what they were missing. So even though Olaf got his bonus attack speed back, even though later in the game, not early game, later in the game, he got his health back, he is still missing the healing amplification, he is still missing the early game slow, he is still missing the 5% attack speed on his W. And this is a champion who was totally balanced for 2 seasons with not a single change. 0 changes for 2 seasons. Unbelievable if you ask me. So where is Olaf at now? He's just dead. He's just gone. No one gives a shit about him. And that's this video. So if you like Olaf, well, there's no happiness for you because Riot doesn't care. And the only thing they did in the hotfix was restore one of the 4 things they nerfed about him. I don't know if it was 4, but it was up there. Yeah, that's probably it for Olaf for the foreseeable future. They'll probably leave him down here like Skarner, and they'll probably just go, good enough. Which is what you expect. And that's the video. That's the entire video on Olaf. If you made it through this, thank you. This is Kitty. You can see she's just sort of been sleeping on my arm this whole time. And yeah, so make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a comment down below. All those things help. Thank you, everybody. And as always, thank you to all my Patreon supporters. The link is in the description if you want to subscribe. Patreon support really helps me. It helps me make these videos. And I appreciate you all for watching. Appreciate you all for doing here. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye, everybody.